Hello, you wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are talking about one of your favorite topics, which are the new Instagram updates and features that you should know about. So there are so many. We're just going to dive right in.
Now, just before we get started, keep in mind that some of these new releases may not have rolled out as yet. So don't worry, if you don't have it, it means it's just starting to roll out because we try to keep these as fresh as possible. So the very first new Instagram update that you need to know about is that you can now add music on carousels and images for extra reach. Now, we did a video with more detail about this that you can watch right here. Now, if you, just to summarize it there, if you add music to your carousels or single image posts, they now get extra reach by being added to the Reels tab. So the only downside of that is that adding music will actually mute any audio on videos in your carousel. So just keep that in mind in case the audio in the carousel videos is important. But overall, it's a really great way to get some extra reach, which at the end of the day is what we all want.
It's what everybody wants. It's what everyone was asking for. So I feel like this was a good one where it's like, hey, if you're not going to make a reel, we've given you this option. All right. Another version to be creative while still getting the opportunity to show up in the Reels tab. That was a good update for sure.
I feel like it was definitely one of the best ones, and it took away a lot of that stress.
And I personally prefer carousels.
So do I.
Yeah.
I like looking at them. I like consuming them.
Yeah.
When someone sends me a reel, I'm like, 40 seconds? But if I'm a carousel, I'm like, oh,
they're just
sweet.
scrolling through. It's the difference between, you can watch one movie or you decide to just watch a whole series of 4 instead. It's like that, but I don't know. There's something about carousels that
there really is.
Yeah. All right, the next Instagram update that you should know about, which is super important for those who are taking Instagram seriously, is that there is now best practices in the professional dashboard. So you'll now get advice for best practices for your specific account. So Instagram has put all of their best practices and creator advice in a very simple place in the professional dashboard. So you'll find guidance on topics like creation, engagement, reach, monetization, guidelines. It's very interesting actually to look at it through each account and see, because it'll be like, hey, you posted only 3 reels this month. People who post 10 reels see more growth, things like that.
Exactly.
So for example, the creator section will give you advice on how often to post, how to get more attention via your images, how long your reel should be, things like that. There's also personalized tips based on your account's performance. They've also compiled reels from creators which go into more detail about each aspect, which also includes meta experts. So they have meta experts in there who have done reels that might show up on the creators page or might have shown up on Instagram for business and things like that they've put at the bottom as well.
Pretty handy. It's like all in one place, so you can just see it all and get that summary.
Exactly.
Which is pretty dope. And before we get into the next update, a huge thank you to AppSumo for sponsoring this video. So if you guys haven't heard, AppSumo is the best place to find software deals for your business. So since 2010, they have helped over 1.5 million entrepreneurs save up to 95% off software with lifetime deals.
That is
awesome?
That's a steal.
It's amazing. That means you only pay once for software, not monthly, which is huge. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee, you can try out any of their products for 2 months before deciding whether you want to keep them for good. Now, this is fascinating. AppSumo has helped launch over 3,000 products, including massive names like Zapier, Open, and Dropbox.
Yeah, that's like wild. Yeah.
That's so cool. In their marketplace, you'll find cutting-edge tools for marketing, finance, web development, sales, and more, all in one simple place. So get rid of your monthly software subscriptions. Find your next favorite business tool for a one-time fee on appsumo.com and grow your business sumo size. I like that one. From now until December 6th, so this is a bit of a timely thing, AppSumo has brought back some of its top selling tools and is offering them at their lowest prices. Some of these deals are in limited quantity, so get in before the time runs out. Thank you again to AppSumo for supporting the channel. Link is going to be in the description.
Now, these are 2 Instagram updates you'll definitely want to know about, and they are 2 new elements added to the followers section. So you can now remove inactive followers easily. So they've made this easier than ever. We've done a video on the process before, but now they've added another layer to actually be able to see who is inactive or who they recommend that you should unfollow.
That's the hardest part.
Exactly. So just head to your profile, tap on followers, then flagged for review. These are followers that Instagram feel are inactive or strange, and you can unfollow them from one easy place. The only downside is if you have a lot of followers and a lot of inactive followers, it's going to take forever to load. There's also a deactivated account section for some people as well, which we've noticed. In addition, they've also added a new followers section. So if you go to your profile again, tap on followers, you'll see a creator section. This is a great place to find other creators who follow you and that you may not be following back, and a really great place and opportunity for brands to find creators they may want to work with. For some people, it's also showing businesses. So it looks like they're still playing with this area a little bit, because we're noticing, it's like your account has something different, my account has something different, then people will show us.
I checked everything when I was putting this part together, and I couldn't even find one with that example, but I have seen it before, and then some of the other ones wouldn't even load. I just waited and waited, and I was like, I just gave up.
We'll probably show, we already talked about this when it first happened in our membership channel, so we'll likely just use the B-roll from that if it's no longer available or looking weird now.
The next Instagram update that you need to know about is they have released a new stories preview slide, which is essentially like an up next feature. So once you finish watching stories from a particular profile, you'll see a slide at the end. It's a black slide with a series of profiles, like just the circle, the profile pictures, and they will be the stories that are coming up next with a preview of those creators that you'll be served. So it's a great way for Instagram to keep people using stories and then to give folks an idea of what they're going to see next. So then you're like, oh, I might as well keep watching. They want to keep us on the platform. So the idea is to keep posting stories daily, as we say all the time, so that the hope is that your little profile picture will be in there with the rest of them, letting folks know that, hey, keep watching, there's going to be some cool stuff coming.
Exactly. Just shows again why you got to keep up with the stories. And I know when we say like post daily, like Monday to Friday, it kind of freaks some people out, but there's value to showing up daily there, because it's a very low lift. It's not a lot of effort that you need to put in. You're just checking in, and Instagram is even giving you more opportunities and pushing you in front of more people with features like this.
They really are.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Another new Instagram update that you should know about are the new DM filters, which make a lot of sense. So all messages, as you know, from accounts you haven't spoken with before, used to go right to your message requests folder. Now you can go into your request, hit the filter button, and select the messages you want to see. So for example, some of the filters include story replies, verified accounts, businesses, creators, and subscribers. They're really making it like a business, like technically like Gmail in a way. But really like also like part of a business, because that is happening. Like sometimes you can have DMs that are flooded, especially if you have a larger account. So having these opportunities to be able to filter through is super valuable. So I get why they're doing that as well. Totally. And honestly, if you're a business reaching out to a creator and things like that, that actually gives you more opportunities to be seen. So it is a good thing that they're adding that. So for those who get a ton of DMs, this is definitely going to make it very, very easy to navigate your inbox.
The next Instagram update you need to know about, this one is a little more tea as opposed to an update. But basically what they're doing is they're throttling low quality videos. So Adam Mosseri confirmed that videos in stories or reels can be throttled and reduced to low quality if they're not getting a ton of views. So I'll read his exact quote here, and then we can explain a little bit more, because some folks might not have heard the word throttled before. So he said, in general, we want to show the highest quality video we can when someone is watching a story or reel. But if something isn't watched for a long time, because the vast majority of views are in the beginning after the initial posting, we'll move to a lower quality video. And then if it's watched again a lot, then we'll re-render the high quality video. So he said that those on slower connections, on internet connections, will also get low quality videos to make them play smoothly, which is probably actually not so much of a bad thing. Essentially, lower performing content will be throttled, meaning reducing the quality and reducing the bandwidth that it takes up, so it's hence the lower quality. It's an interesting one.
It makes sense for them in terms of like all the servers that you must have and like all the data you must have to hold.
4K and then you're getting 4 views. Like, why would you do that?
So it's like it's a waste for them, or it's like taking up extra space for them. But it does. I feel like that affirms when people have said like that their videos have gotten low quality or anything like that. And I swear I've seen videos that I know were higher quality in the past that I might look at 2 or 3 years ago, like, and they are a bit lower quality, and that might be why. It makes sense. Like it does makes sense, but it sucks in a way
Yeah.
because it's kind of like you could put a lot of effort into something and someone sees something 2 years later. Doesn't mean that it's negative, that it's not a good piece of content,
Right.
but now it's going to get reduced just because it's not getting a ton of views as it would have initially. And I guess that's also something to always consider about Instagram, because unlike something like YouTube where content lasts forever, right? Like YouTube is like, you could see this video in 5 years, right? With
still be
Instagram,
4K, whatever.
exactly. With Instagram, it's the shelf life is much shorter. So I guess it kind of makes sense for them. Yeah.
Something to keep in mind.
Another quick Instagram update that you should know about is that Instagram is displaying on-screen tips for Reels. So for Reels that are performing well, Instagram is now experimenting with adding in live on-screen tips. For example, it could say something like, strong hook kept people watching, or most views were longer than 3 seconds, or this is rising in popularity, which is the really cool thing that YouTube does in analytics for us, right? There's so many things like people dropped off here, like this, they show so many retention peaks. There's so much information you get. So I'm glad that they're adding this. It's a great way to get some immediate, even if it's very brief, feedback on your content right from the source. So I love that they're, again, encouraging people to use the products and then giving you. So not only are they giving you the tips with the best practices, but they're also giving you like, oh, the reinforcement when you do something well, so you know what's working. So it's very smart on their part in terms of getting people to produce more Reels.
The next Instagram feature you need to know about is that you can now mention people in stories without the sticker while you're creating
This one's for me.
the story. Yes, because you do this all the time.
Yeah, I've been doing it since like
How do you
stories
do it?
existed. I've always just wrote the text. This is for aesthetic reasons. Like sometimes it just doesn't work with the aesthetic to have the person's names on it. Or sometimes it's like you kind of want them to know that you posted, but it's not about them, but you give them the opportunity. Like, so for example, if we create branded content, but it's like an agency is the one who reached out to us to create content for the brand on the main asset for what I do. I'll put the brand, of course, as the focus, but also tag the agency in the back end. So what I did was type out the name as you would, but then I used to just make it small and drag it off the screen every single time. Now, they've probably seen enough of people like me do this that they're like, oh gosh, we'll just add
Let's
the
make a way
option
to
so that
do
you
it.
can just mention them after the fact, which makes it feel more like a tag, like you're tagging someone in stories.
Yeah, which is kind of nice, like tagging in a photo as opposed to writing it out. So exactly right. So Tiff kind of explained that's exactly what it is. So you now can mention without using the sticker where it actually shows the mention or typing it in text. So there's like the 3 dots up the top when you're creating it. And when you hit that 3 dots, the one with all the draw and other options there, it just says mention people. So once you hit mention people, you can just mention them and then they'll just get tagged in the post without people having to see it.
Exactly. And I've seen that for a few accounts, but not all of them now. So that's definitely rolling out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So keep an eye out for that one.
The next Instagram update you should know about is the trending audio chart section. So similar to Talkboard for TikTok, Instagram is now adding a chart for all of their trending audio. This is super helpful. This is very smart because finding trending audio has always been a bit of a challenge for many people. And this is amazing for creators, and business accounts don't have access to trending audio, unfortunately. But this is, but if you're a business with a creator account, you do. Just if you decide to do that, just saying. So now you'll be able to see which songs are on the rise and which are actually dipping, so you know when to get on board. And I literally just used this yesterday with something where I was like, oh, like when we originally were scheduling the reel, there was something else that was higher, but I saw that it was dipping down. I'm like, let's just swap it for another audio that's more on the rise. So I love that. I think that's a really cool feature. And again, making it easier to produce reels and use all the features that they want you to use. Another Instagram update you should know about is you can now add comments to stories. So it's seeming that Instagram is adding comments everywhere now. So now people can add comments and they'll show up to your story at the bottom. So the default is that they can only do it though if you follow them back, but you can switch that to all followers so they will all have the opportunity to follow you and leave a comment. I'm not sure how this affects engagement yet, but it would have to be a net positive because it's just another engagement being added to your stories, just like when someone likes or reacts or replies in a DM.
And they'll probably have to adjust the insights, kind of like it makes me think of notes. Like, have they really added anything there in the insights for notes? I haven't seen anything yet. I haven't seen any updates from this area or nothing. So you'd imagine that would probably almost be more important than
honestly seeing that. I'm like, I think that's more valuable. I do like the way it comes up. Like, it does look cool to see the comment at the bottom of the story.
And they make it like not very intrusive.
Yes, exactly.
Which is nice.
Exactly.
All right, time for the lightning round. Just a whole bunch of short quick zippy updates that maybe don't need as much explanation. The first one, there are new Instagram text-based creative tools. So Instagram added new fonts, text animations, and effects in Reels, posts, and stories. So say for stories, when you want to access some of those, you can tap the text tool and you'll see all of the new fonts. You can just scroll across. So I think before there might have been like 6 and now there's like, I don't know, 12 to 15 or something like that. It's quite a lot, which is very cool. Gives it a little bit more personality, and I think those old fonts were kind of getting boring.
Yeah.
So your photos and carousels can now have text or effects added via stickers to give them some more personality.
I've seen them pushing that too.
Yeah, pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And you can add them by tapping on the button once you've selected a photo from the gallery. So there'll be a button there. And so you're adding text before you get to the preview where you add the caption. So it's in that earlier stage as well.
And then another quick update, if you didn't know yet, you now have up to 20 slides in your carousel. So I think this further reinforces that carousels are still important to the platform. And if you watched this video, we actually talked about why you need to start posting more carousels because they actually get more engagement than Reels do.
Okay, next update. This is all about music. We have 2 different music updates here. So just like MSN, so I'm not sure if the
Throwback,
right? I'm
Yeah.
not sure if the Gen Z folks used it, but
I don't think
millennials
you
definitely
know.
did.
I feel like we were like MSN, ICQ, anyways, the whole life.
vibes.
Yeah.
So if you all remember that, or if you don't know, basically that allowed you to add a song to your profile, which stays there permanently. So this was a little while. This is one of the maybe older updates, but we brought that forward. So now you can add a song to the profile and actually will stay in your bio at the top, and you have that song there and people can tap on it, listen to it. Pretty sweet. Now they also had the feature where you could add music to notes, so the notes in your DMs across that. So that was the first one. Then they added the one to your bio, but now you can actually connect your Instagram account directly to your Spotify account, and it'll update the music in your notes in real time with anything that you're listening to on Spotify. That's
pretty
interesting.
cool. Yeah.
I mean,
I'd say if you're a musician too, it's just like play your own music all the time.
and it's just there.
Because then you can promote yourself all the time. Well, obviously, you definitely should add your music to your profile too, as a musician.
Yeah, absolutely
So,
should.
yeah.
You know, but then people will know if you're listening to like.
Oh no,
R. Kelly or
not the
whatever.
Spotify part, but you shouldn't be doing that. But not the. I mean, you know, you can add a song to your profile. It's
Yes.
like, as a musician, you should definitely add your latest single or something to
Absolutely.
to that.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah. And now a few Meta AI updates. So Meta AI now has a voice, so it can talk back to you, including celebrity voices. So
That's pretty
that's something.
funny.
You can also edit photos with Meta AI, including adding or removing or changing something in an image. You can share images in your chats with Meta AI and ask questions. For example, you could take a photo of a plate of food and ask it for a recipe, or see a plant on a hike and send a photo and ask what it is. That's actually
cool.
very, very cool. You can upload a photo to stories and hit the AI button, and it'll create a background to the image based on what's in it, so it fits. I've seen that. It actually looks really, really cool.
Yeah,
They're also testing real-time audio translations for Reels. So if you're speaking in English, your audio could be immediately translated into Spanish for someone in Costa Rica, for example. That's pretty cool. So there are a lot of interesting updates. They're going to continue to do that in this area. And again, we're in like AI wars now. So it's like Meta AI, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. Like everybody's going to be against each other, basically. To, you know, it's a race to the top, or whatever the top
Truly.
might be. So yeah, so stay tuned for those updates.
Seriously. Another little piece of tea for you. Our good mate Adam confirmed that it is okay to watermark your reels or your photos with your own logo. So he confirmed that it doesn't hurt your reach, contrary to popular belief. And then a secondary one here, he also confirmed that videos made in third-party apps also won't hurt your reach.
Finally, that was a big question for a lot of people, so I'm glad he confirmed that.
Yes, that was a big one that I know people had brought up a lot.
Yeah, so if you're using CapCut, Final Cut, Adobe Premiere, any of these things, it's not going to hurt your reach. Of course, editing in Reels gives you more opportunities because that could be considered a template and all of these things, which they do love. So, of course, it'll help you, but at least you know it won't hurt you when you edit in third-party platforms.
Exactly right.
That's it. So those are the Instagram updates and features that you need to know about. Let us know if there's something that we missed that you've been watching, or what you're most excited about in the comments below.
Yes.
Thank you again to AppSumo for sponsoring this video. You can check them out via the link in the description and take advantage of
also,
that special.
Take advantage of the special.
Yeah.
If you see the video after the dates, you can still hit the link and there still could be potential deals and stuff.
Exactly.
So keep that in mind.
It's not over.
No, it's not over.
Thank you so much for coming back to watch another video. We'll see you in the next one. But until then, check out this video next. Bye.
Peace.